Hello and welcome to CoreTV News at 4. I am Frank Omalape and here are some of the reports we're filing now. The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Atairu Jega, has rescheduled the 2015 general elections to March 28 and April 11 following an advice from security chiefs in the country. Jega said the electoral body is ready to go ahead with the polls, but the Boko Haram insurgency and the country necessitated the postponement. He said the Presidential and National Assembly elections bid for February 14 will now hold on March 28, while Governorship and State House of Assembly elections will hold on April 11. He added that the 6 weeks window will also help the electoral body perfect the strategies towards a peaceful, free and fair elections.
No matter the extent of INEC's preparedness, therefore, if the security of personnel, voters, election observers and election materials cannot be guaranteed, the life of innocent young men and women, as well as prospects for free, fair, credible and peaceful elections would be greatly jeopardized. Consequently, the Commission has decided to reschedule the 2015 general elections thus. The national elections, i.e. Presidential and National Assembly, are now to hold on March 28, 2015. While the state elections, Governorship and State Assembly, are to hold on April 11, 2015. It should be noted that this rescheduling falls within the constitutional framework for the conduct of the elections, notably Section 76, subsection 2, Section 116, subsection 2, Section 132, subsection 2, and Section 178, subsection 2. See also Section 25 of the Electoral Act 2010 as amended. For the avoidance of doubt, we will under no circumstances as a commission approve an arrangement that is not in line with the provisions of our laws. Our hope is that with this rescheduling, the security services will do their best to ensure that the security environment needed for safe and peaceful conduct of the 2015 elections is rapidly put in place.
Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party presidential campaign team has hailed INEC's decision to postpone the elections. The party's campaign organization said in a statement issued in Abuja that it was in the national interest. Although INEC cited security reasons, spokesman for the campaign team, Femi Fani-Kayode, says it shows that the commission was not fully prepared. PDP claim as at February 7th, only about 34% of eligible voters had collected their permanent voter cards and accused the All Progressive Congress of being insensitive to their plight. Also, the opposition party was bent on putting the country on the path of chaos by insisting on elections on February 14, according to the PDP. In the meantime, the national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, John Odigi Oyegun, has described the shift in the dates of the election as a setback for the nation's democracy. Oyegun said in a statement that the commission claimed that it did this because the security agencies claimed they needed time to fight the insurgency in the northeast region of the country. He described the decision as a major setback for Nigeria's democracy and added the party is having an emergency section to study its implications and will inform Nigerians of its decision in the next few days. He also urged members of the party to remain calm and desist from violence or provocation and any activity that will compound the already unfortunate development. He assured all Nigerians that the party will not abandon its commitment to change and will sustain the struggle to establish a new Nigeria. Former Governor of Ogun State, Benga Daniel, says he is pleased with the decision of the Independent National Electoral Commission to postpone the general elections. Daniel, while speaking at the inauguration of senatorial, federal, and state and wards committees and presentation of vehicles and electric bicycles to them to campaign for the re-election of President Goodluck Jonathan, urged all coordinators at each level to perform their duties well. He also says, though, the primaries of the party in the state were not in tandem with its principles. He says all stakeholders must work for the party. In her remarks, his former deputy, Salmot Badro, called for support for the president's re-election.
A little bit of time to now do what we have to do. Now that we have recognized senatorial, federal constituency, state constituency, ward coordinators, it is now time for you to go and prove your mettle, to go and do what you have to do from ward to ward, from polling booth to polling booth.
We all have a role to play, and that has been my own plea since after the unification rally, that every hand must be on deck, that everybody must be given the opportunity to also prove themselves and add value to the success of the president's election.
The People's Democratic Party has described the criticism by the All Progressive Congress on President Goodluck Jonathan's achievements in the railway sector as laughable. The party insists that only railway hosts in present-day Nigeria was perpetrated by Rotimi Amechi, an APC governor. In a statement released in Abuja, PDP's campaign team said the attack showed that President Jonathan has completely overwhelmed the APC with the quality of his achievements in rail and other sectors of the economy. Spokesman for the campaign organization, Femi Fani-Kayode, noted until Jonathan's intervention, the railway sector had been in a poor state since the 80s. He said rather than question the railway achievements of President Jonathan, APC should explain why rail projects in Rivers and Lagos states have failed to take off in spite of billions of naira expenditure. And our Catholic women have declared support for Kaduna State Governor Mukhtar Yero of the People's Democratic Party ahead the forthcoming general elections. They declared their support for the governor at the annual Women Conference of the Catholic Women's Society of the Kafanchan Diocese at Seminaka in Lere local government area. Chaplain of the diocese, Reverend Henry Berman, said the decision to support Governor Yero is based on the prevailing peaceful atmosphere in most parts of the country. Berman noted that the governor has shown enough commitment to ensuring that Christians in the state practice their religion in a free and secured environment. Responding to the show of support, Governor Yero pledged his administration's readiness to be fair to all citizens irrespective of their perceived differences. The battle for the collection of permanent voter cards in Lagos has continued with state attendance difficulties, despite the public holiday declared on Friday by the Lagos state government to ease collection of the voter cards. Complaints dominated polling units visited by CoreTV News on Saturday. Some residents say they have visited the polling units on a number of times without success, while others who were able to see their names on the list could not collect their voter cards.
I've been suffering. This is about not 5 years of age. I've been suffering, nothing given to me. Still that I'm still on it. It's still with my hand, but they will not answer my request.
They say that it's not available. Even at Alausa, St. Peter's, they said I've been there 3 good times. It's not available. Even the lady that is handling it at Alausa gave me her number. Since I've been calling her, she keep on promising me till today. This is making 3 times here and the 3 times at Alausa.
I've been coming here for over 3 days now. I've been coming here. They asked me to come back, but today I finally here. I've given them my temporary voters card. I wanted to collect my PVC. They are telling me that they have seen it, but I haven't collected it now.
Former Vice Chancellor of University of Ibadan, Ayo Banjo, says while the picture on who will emerge the next president of the country is still unclear, politicians should desist from trading statements depicting violence. He advised whoever emerges winner at the presidential poll to make eradication of corruption a top priority. He also admonished Nigerians to vote for the right leaders.
In a situation that we are in, the level of lack of education and lack of poverty, people are going to vote for those who are likely to increase their own income. one way or the other. I don't think we can avoid that. Nobody is going to say, I believe in such and such ideology. Whether I gain or lose by it, this is the best thing for the country. People are going to ask themselves, what's in it for me? What am I going to get out of this? And this is the way that they are going to vote. It's unfortunate. It is not an ideal setting for this kind of democracy. But we've got to grow and bring the country to a level in which democracy properly can be practiced.
In view of the precarious security situation in the country ahead the forthcoming general elections, the Plateau State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Godwin Kwanga, is seeking military protection for his office, men and materials before, during and after the 2015 general elections. He made this known when he paid a courtesy visit to the Plateau State Commandant of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. Kwanga, who had already paid similar visits to the Police Commissioner and STF commander in the state, said the need for adequate security for INEC staff and materials cannot be overemphasized. The report.
Godwin Kwanga, who was recently transferred from the FCT to head the Plateau INEC office, says the recent finding and pronouncement by the INEC chairman, Atahiru Jega, which included Plateau State as one of the flashpoints of electoral violence, has increasingly made the need for security unavoidable.
A secure environment. They are more prepared to give out their best. If we make our own environment secure, our people will do their best and in fact give the best for this country for the election to succeed. Our mission therefore is that we solicit your cooperation in the task of securing the forthcoming election.
Kwanga added, in a view of the ad hoc staff that will be used on the field to conduct elections and the sensitive materials that will be in INEC's possessions, the men of the Nigerian Civil Defense Corps will be of immense assistance in helping to secure lives and property during the period.
Of course, you know, it is not just in Plateau State. Everywhere in Nigeria now, the security situation is tight. Tight, not just because of the election, tight because of the situation we have found ourselves in. And conducting election, like I've said, requires security. We shall be mobilizing people, some of who are not hardcore staff of INEC. We'll be using ad hoc staff. Particularly we'll be using youth corps and some other ad hoc staff to assist us in conducting election as ad hoc staff. The security of these people is very important. The security of the materials that we are going to use in conducting the election is also very important.
For his part, the Plateau State Nigerian Civil Defense Corps boss, Vincent Baturi, assured the electoral officer that his men are battle ready for anyone that would want to foment trouble on the day of elections.
Hoodlums overtake the day. It is never done that. Somebody asked a question today that soldiers, that the presence of a security personnel could cause panic in the district. I think the opposite is the case. Anyway, we here are well armed. We are armed quite right. But the number of personnel that will go there, the arms cannot even cover all of them. If we, in a police unit or in a police center, we can have, let's say, 2 armed men. Police will have, let's say, 3 or 5. And then the soldiers, we told them they will control the environment so that anybody who misbehaves, there will deal with them. And if it is above us, you know, the soldier is to put finishing touches. So we will bring them, it means they are coming to quell the situation.
There is, however, assurance from all relevant quarters that adequate security will be provided during the elections.
It's still CoreTV News at 4. We'll take a break shortly. We'll be back with more stories after this time out. Stay with us.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digi360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down. Explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
It's still CoreTV News at 4 live from our studios in Lagos. For more information on our news and other programs, like our Facebook page, it's facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can as well follow us at CoreTV News NG. And our YouTube page is youtube.com/CoreTV. Give it space, the news. The governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Osun State, Inyola Mishori, has called on National Judicial Council to probe the activities of Justice Elizabeth Ikpe-Ejime-led Election Petition Tribunal, which dismissed his petition against Governor Rauf Aregbesola on Friday. The call came as the petitioner's reaction to the dismissal of his petition, which the three-man panel unanimously agreed could not be proved beyond reasonable doubt. Omishore, who said this in a statement on Saturday by his media aide Victor Riola, said he will appeal the judgment and described the dismissal of his petition by the panel as a travesty of justice. The allegation of corruption came as a surprise to many because one of the counsels to the petitioner, Nathaniel Oke, had commended the panel while closing his case. The police command in Kwara State has arrested a truck conveying ammunition at Kosubosu, a border town in Barutin local government area of the state. The vehicle with number plate Lagos XU110 BDG was believed to be coming from Burkina Faso and on its way to Ibadan. Police operatives of the Kosubosu Divisional Headquarters arrested the driver with another occupant of the vehicle. The police source told NAN on Saturday that the ammunition, which comprised several cartons of cartridges, were hidden in the truck. Commissioner of Police in the state, Sally Hugaraba, confirmed the incident. The police public relations officer, Ajayo Consomi, said the police were carrying out further investigation into the matter. Meanwhile, the chairman of the council, Madam Mohammed Omar Obio, described the incident as sad, especially at a time the elections are approaching. A former staff of the Nigerian paper mill Jeba in Kwara State have staged a protest against what they tag non-payment of their full entitlement by the Bureau of Public Service in the last 13 years. The protesters lament the total neglect in this report by Rashid.
The dream of every worker is to retire to a well-deserved rest with all the necessary financial benefits. The reverse seems to be the case at the Nigerian paper mill industry in Jeba, Kwara State. The mostly aged protesters carried placards with various inscriptions complaining of being shortchanged in the payment of their entitlements.
What we are suffering, we are doing every day. We are dying. Our children cannot go to school. Our children have become drawers of water and hewers of wood. We cannot in position to train them. Even we that are father, to even eat at home is problem. You understand? Life has become one continual battle for survival. It is not easy for us to even survive. Many of, like in those days, we are like 3,000. But today now, that has reduced to less than 1,000 because of neglect suffering. We battle with survival, we suffer every minute.
Of pathetic note is Simon Akman, a blind retiree who relives his agonies.
Nigerian paper mill, as the problem come in, I suffer a lot. My wife died. My children, my daughter died. Nothing with me. I have nothing to hold on. Now, the sickness will come hit me. Nobody to help me up till now. The government should arise and make and give us help. We need help. As a citizen of Nigeria, we are suffering more than as we are.
The protesters called on the federal government to intervene in their case in order to forestall further deaths among its ranks, which has reduced to little over 1,000 from about 3,000. Rashid, CoreTV News, Jeba.
You're still watching CoreTV News at 4. We'll take another break shortly. We'll be back with more. Join us again.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. And Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Outside Nigeria, U.S. Vice President Joe Biden launched a passionate plea to Russian President Vladimir Putin to show by his actions that he desires peace in Ukraine, while he did not directly say that Washington would provide arms to Kiev. Biden insisted that Ukraine has the right to defend itself from pro-Russian separatists waging war in the east. He says the U.S. will continue to provide Ukraine with security assistance, not to encourage war, but to allow Ukraine to defend itself.
We must judge the existing agreement next and any future agreement with Russia by the actions Russia takes on the ground, not by the paper they sign. And given Russia's recent history, we need to judge it by its deeds, not its words. Don't tell us, show us, President Putin. Too many times President Putin has promised peace and delivered tanks, troops, and weapons.
In 289 words, the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov voiced optimism that a plan being worked on by Moscow, Berlin and Paris could bring a possible end to the Ukraine conflict. He made this statement at the Munich Security Conference, where he met a series of world leaders to discuss latest peace initiative on Ukraine. Lavrov says as the peace talks continue, he believes there is every possibility of reaching a result and agreed the recommendation that will allow the sides to really unite this knot of a conflict. He confirms Russia's readiness to guarantee a fresh peace plan based on the Minsk Accord signed by Kiev, the Russian-backed rebels in Moscow in September, but which has so far failed to halt the fighting. Lavrov also took the opportunity to rehearse a litany of long-standing Russian grievances against the West, which he charged had supported reactionary forces in Kiev against Ukraine's best interest. He added that the United States and the European Union have taken steps to escalate the Ukraine crisis at every turn. Well, and that's a wrap on CoreTV News at 4. Many thanks for watching. I am Frank Omalape. I'll see you again.